Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you are joining me today. Another gorgeous fall day here in northern Colorado, so that's wonderful. I got a bunch of cats running around outside. I got a bunch of cattle running around outside. It's a good day here for animals, that's for sure, because the snow is not anywhere in sight yet, but I know it's coming. Well, if you woke up this morning like I did, or you saw the writing on the wall last night, we're living in kind of a different America today, I feel like. Just a little bit. And of course, I'm talking about the new mayor of New York City. I anticipated it. I figured that's exactly what was going to happen. I mean, that's what the projections were saying. But who knows? Do we even believe in elections anymore? It's very much pay to play. It's very much all about funding and who got funded. And but it is going to be interesting. That's for sure. Of course, Mondani is looking at, communism, essentially. He's looking at chasing all the wealthy people out of New York City by charging them, their fair share of taxes to be able to fund things like, government-run grocery stores. You know what I didn't know? I didn't know that there was a government-run grocery store actually tried in Kansas, and that this grocery store went out of business. Go figure. Yeah, go figure. I guess, it didn't work out so well. And so I didn't get a chance to really dive deep into that, but I did read about that today, and I thought, wow, I had no idea. But then when you're talking about things like food deserts, this is the what happens, in rural areas where there just isn't enough consumer demand for fresh food. It's very prevalent in New Mexico and within like Indian reservations just near them and whatnot. There's just a lack of consumer traffic out there. So it makes it hard for the food supply, centralized food supply, to be able to provide for those areas. And they create something called food deserts. And so I guess that's probably the context in Kansas of how this government-run grocery store came to be. But it went out of business. And I think the report said it lost like $21 million. Or something like that. So, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg, you guys. This is just a symptom of the fact that America is in an identity crisis. We have allowed the crumbling of our culture to happen. And when you don't have a culture, you don't really have an identity. And that's what I see has happened in America. And I think it's not just me. I hate to bring this lady back up and share her words with you because I'm trying to understand her. I'm trying to understand how somebody is living in the same country, and is a product of the Western world and thinks so incredibly different from me. It's almost like, we're living on different planets. Because this woman, some of the clips I've seen from her, and given I have not watched a full podcast of hers, maybe I should, just to kind of try to understand, like, how does somebody get this worldview? It's I don't know. So let's go to that clip first, because I want to just give you a sense of, this is Jennifer Welsh. She has a very popular podcast, and she's in celebrating the mayor of New York winning last night. Here it is.
Let me tell you something. If it was all white people here right now, it would be boring as shit. I've grown up in those circles. Everybody needs some spice and some color in their lives. Life's a lot better. That's the coolest thing about America. Americans have no culture except for multicultural.
Well said.
And we need to teach people how to embrace that. These crusty white people need to learn how to embrace it.
That was kind of a loud clip. It didn't sound that loud when I was listening to it when I picked it. Sorry about that. But the highlight of that clip, I think you could probably hear it. She says, Americans have no culture. Americans have no culture. And that stood out to me because she's wrong. Americans do have culture. It's just that what has happened is there has been a concerted effort to erode American culture, to attack it, to call it racist, to call it nationalist, to call it, homophobic, to call it Islamophobic, xenophobic, all the phobes. See, when the phobes started getting dropped, then Americans started backing away from their own culture. Not only that, I mean, American culture has been under warfare for a long time, especially in the department of men. American masculine men have been under absolute warfare. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go that. You're toxic masculinity. You're this, you're that. And you know what? It stripped them of their culture. They weren't even sure if they were allowed to be who they felt like they were because they got so browbeat, henpecked. I think it's really done a lot of damage. And that's why I think, when a woman like this says, America has no culture, she's about to find out, I think, I'm not an expert on culture. I sure am interested in it. It's always been a very, topic of interest for me. But yep. That's what I hear when I hear women like that talk. Yep. It's like, oh boy. There's balance, in society that's needed. It's kind of like what we talked about yesterday with your yin and your yang. There's feminine energy and there's masculine energy. And what's happened is a lot of these women have taken on a form of masculine energy, and they're like trying to be both. They're trying to be feminine energy because they got every right to be feminine, boss babe. But also they're overstepping into masculine energy too, because we don't even need masculine energy anymore. We can handle it all. And wouldn't you know it, that is going to be incredibly destructive if we have this surge of Muslim culture in America. We now have a Muslim mayor who, proclaims that proudly. And then I'll show you, after this first break, I'll show you how the culture is being shaped. And it's quite a dichotomy that I am witnessing because I'm knee deep in Raymond Ibrahim's work and his study on Islam. And so I'm listening to him and I'm connecting the dots with sourced material, first sourced material that he has 1,000 references in his book. So it's like firsthand sourced material there. And so I'm reading that and I am watching this unfold in the modern world right in front of my eyes. And man, I tell you what, history repeats itself. That is the understatement of the decade. It's fascinating, actually. Fascinating that people can get so comfortable and so complacent and so distracted and so addicted to convenience that they can have an enemy at their doorstep and they can't see it because they've been conditioned otherwise. Distracted, convenience. We don't have a culture. Wow. Tell that to our settlers, right? That went through the hardship that they had to go through in order to build America. You have no culture. You have no culture. That's very insulting, and I just, I would love to have a discussion with this woman. Maybe I'm just not seeing it your way. I understand that, America was built on immigrants. Yeah, because they all came here for a better life. You know what the better life was? It was American culture. That was the better life. Fascinating. Fascinating. Let's talk about it when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I am so glad you're here. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Did you know over 70% of Americans are on at least one pharmaceutical drug, many with side effects that cause more problems than they solve? So when you visit your doctor, chances are you'll leave with a prescription. When you work with a natural health practitioner, you can spend thousands of dollars and often still not see real results. That's why we created Naturally Inspired Community, where you get health coaching, guidance, and community support for free, just by purchasing the same top-tier EWG certified clean products we personally use and recommend. You get a 15% discount on every order when you become a member. How do you become a member? Just spend $50 on your first purchase. You get free or flat rate shipping, loyalty points towards free product, access to our weekly wellness workshops, a private online health community. We had a great discussion last night on Zoom, probably one of the most lively and engaging, actually. I really enjoyed it. Personal access to me as your health and wellness guide. So when you join our community, you're not only buying products, you're investing in your health, your knowledge, and your freedom from the pharmaceutical trap. So join us today at naturalinspiredstore.com and feel supported, get informed, and truly inspired to live well naturally. So does America have a culture? Well, let me tell you. I looked it up like I needed to, but I thought, you know what? Don't take my word for it. I need to take the wealth of information that's available in books and cited sources and put together a summary of kind of what defines foundational American culture. And so here it is. Number 1, individualism and personal liberty, freedom of choice, autonomy over one's life and beliefs. Don't tread on me. Personal responsibility and self-reliance. So if you think about what we've been just dealing with in the news recently, what is self-reliance? We have a whole demographic of people who feel entitled for other people to pay for their groceries. And that was implemented. That was implemented with an ideology that this should be available to you, not temporary, but long-term. How did that happen? It happened because we allowed corporate gangsters to buy their way into our marketplace through government regulation. And so everybody's winning, you know? These corporations are getting paid because they're selling more food, and the taxpayer is funding free food, and the politicians are happy because they're getting donated to from these corporations to make that happen. And it's destroyed our culture. It's destroyed our culture. Autonomy over one's life and beliefs, well, that's been challenged as well with COVID. There was no autonomy over one's beliefs. No, we were gaslit under the umbrella of science by a bunch of people who don't even understand science, right? The word science was weaponized against us by a group of people who were operating from a greater agenda, right? They had a bigger agenda. Mandate that product into the marketplace, use government to sell our products because we're going to mandate people take the product. So we lost autonomy over our own bodies and our own ability to conduct business. Freedom of choice, limited, right? It gets smaller and smaller. You do this or these consequences, there's a boot on your neck. So I want to share with you this next clip. This is the new mayor of New York City. And I found this clip very interesting because listen to CNN commentator here. Here it is.
Opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like it was a little bit of a character switch here, where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight, and there was some other voice on stage. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult. And
I love how these guys give credit to them like he's just a young guy that went out there and organic grassroots made it happen. You guys, come on. This is pay to play. Like, he's a vessel. He's a vessel. I don't know who is left that still thinks, that these politicians are acting on their own accord without any strings from funding, right? We know strings are attached to everybody. I mean, strings are even attached to Trump. Negotiations, big business. This is corporations here, right? They have boards. People have to weigh in. There's deals being made, okay? This here is no different, except for this guy is funded by a Muslim pack. And there's a lot of money behind him. Guy's never had a job, So he'll be doing what his handlers put him in to do. This position was bought and paid for. It takes a lot of money to win a campaign, especially when you're a newbie. So I laugh at you when you say, oh, this is a young guy and he's really done something here. This is an actor. This is another actor. Zelensky's an actor. Justin Trudeau, an actor. These people are actors. Do you get it? It's not like they're out there just like doing it, on their own. I just come on. So the interesting part here I thought was interesting is that this guy on CNN here, he's like, wait a minute, it feels like there's a character switch. Well, yeah. You think? You think there's a character switch on election night? wait 6 months. Okay? Because I tell you, you're an infidel. You're an infidel, right? And you must be conquered. And if you don't take my word for it, okay? Because, like I said, go back to the scholars, go back to the sourced material, and there is just no other way to slice it here. This is the doctrine. And it's very typical to make your way in somewhere as a friend and an ally, and then, character switch. Character switch. So shaping culture is happening. It's happening rapidly. It's happening on social media. It's not happening in the days of the old, right? The way they used to do it. But it's happening in the modern world. And here's how I know. Watch this next clip.
Somalia hanulato! Somalia hanulato!
Somalia, Hiran State, Mawisle.
Those were your choices in Michigan. Those were your choices. Both Muslims. And then we have this. Watch this.
All right, y'all, the Islamic Caliphate in New York starts now. That means we are all converting to Islam. I've already got one friend converted tonight. So the lines to begin conversion will begin tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. There will be mosques being built on every single block. But in the meantime, start outside my door. I am happy to help you convert, happy to be there on your journey. If you'd rather do it with somebody else, totally understand. You have to be safe, you have to be comfortable. But I'm so glad to have you, my brothers, my sisters, my siblings, on this.
So, you might be thinking what I was thinking at first. I was like, well, maybe this is a new Muslim. This is a updated version of Islam, where women aren't stoned to death in the street and where women aren't seen as lesser citizens. Maybe this is like an updated version. But there's also this weird element to it where we find out that this is kind of how, that it's forgiven to, lure or to build a way in to conquer by representing yourself as an ally. This is actually this is part of it. And I hope that's not true. I truly do. I hope that this Jennifer Welsh has it figured out and that she is actually seeing it from the right point of view and that her life experiences are so different than mine that I just can't see through the world through her lens. I really hope that is the case. Because I heard and I saw a woman screaming because she was being chased in the street by a man who is completely under the brainwashing that he has every single right to do that in the UK. And when he was questioned about it, he's, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not doing anything wrong. She was so beautiful, I had to. I hope that's just AI propaganda, I don't know what's going on anymore. But either way, I guess we're going to find out. We are going to find out. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
If you're looking for a way to get healthier, to feel better, to do what you love for longer, I've got a solution. It's called the Naturally Inspired Community. Last night, we had our weekly wellness workshop. It's at 7 o'clock Mountain Time every Tuesday night. And we had a great discussion about hidden frequency within. That is mastering the nervous system that shapes your reality. I am on a quest myself personally to master my nervous system. Your nervous system is regulated from ages 0 to 7. And if you were raised in, kind of an anxious environment, a chaotic environment, chances are that you have a disrupted nervous system, and that can inhibit you in so many different ways. It can keep you from taking risks. It can make you feel anxious. It can really interfere with the things that you want to do in life. And so mastering your nervous system is possible, but you have to know how it works. So last night we talked about it. We talked about the electric body. We talked about the symphony of signals, the brain-body conversation, the hidden cost of constant stress, emotional echoes in the body, the modern world's assault on our calm, on and on and on. So we spent about 30 minutes. I did this presentation. And then after that, we had a great conversation for about another 45 minutes. And I think it was very valuable. I think there were a few aha moments, if I can cringily say that. Is cringily a word? Cringe? I don't know. It is now. But if I can say that, I think there were some moments where people were like, whoa, that applies to me. And that's awesome because that means growth, right? Because the first step in strengthening yourself and growing is awareness. So that's the kind of thing we do every Tuesday night in the Naturally Inspired Community. So join us today. How do you join? How do I join? How do I join? They're all asking. All you got to do is go to naturalinspiredstore.com and make a purchase. Make a purchase of $50 or more, because with $50, you get the free membership to the product line website. You can make purchases there for a lifetime after that. There's no reoccurring membership fee to shop on the site. Once you make that first purchase of $50, you get access to it. And you get access to 15% discount then when you make that first purchase of $50 on everything. So, I mean, these are things you're buying anyway. Why not just put them in the cart, get them ordered so that they show up at your door? It's convenient. But the most important thing is it's clean. And these are highly tested products. They're all clean. They're wonderful vitamins, supplements. You know me, I love the cellular reset. I take it every day. The collagen is another one of my favorite products. And I'm on the methylated vitamins and the omegas and all the secret sauces that I need to make sure that I am functioning at my best. So you can do it too. Just go to naturalinspiredstore.com today, make a purchase, and we'd welcome you into the community. All right, let's get back to it. So, talking about this character switch that we may be expecting here, and trying to understand, why we see, we have such different point of views. Does America have culture? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so offensive to say that America doesn't have culture. We have a Judeo-Christian moral foundation. Even as culture secularizes, American ethics are rooted in human dignity created by God, moral absolutes, right and wrong, value of family, community charity, redemption, forgiveness, purpose. We have a culture that embraces all men are created equal. This is why Sharia law is such a threat to Western culture, to American culture specifically, because Sharia law is it's a way of governing. That's what it is. It's a government, and it doesn't treat all men created equal. It doesn't. So constitutionalism and rule of law is part of American culture. Rights come from God, not from government. Government exists to protect freedoms, not grant them. We're getting off track here. You know, we're getting way off track. Separation of powers, checks and balances, due process, free speech. The Constitution as a sacred civic scripture. Meritocracy and the pursuit of success. That's American culture. The American dream, hard work and innovation are honored. Success is admired, not resented. We got some trouble here because the American dream feels like it's out of reach now. And the reason why it feels like it's out of reach is because we have corporate gangsters that have put their foot on the scale. We have government that has infringed on free market. We have monopolies like BlackRock. Everything's getting inflated, and the people at the top are winning, and the average person has a harder time achieving the American dream today than ever before. So we're losing sight, we're losing grasp on our American culture. But that doesn't mean we don't have one. There's been a social engineering program to erode American culture away. Like we're not allowed to have it. The entrepreneurial spirit, risk-taking is valued. Whew, does that pertain to me right now? Risk-taking is valued. It doesn't feel like it right now. I've taken some really big risks over the last few years. And my speech has been censored. I don't feel like I'm playing on an even marketplace because of that. There's a lot there. Build something, build something that's meaningful to you, that's encouraged. Find something that you give what about and try to make a difference in that area. Embrace innovation. Disrupt the old to create the new. Pioneers, inventors, builders. This is American culture. Optimism and hope, belief in possibility, reinvention encouraged, hope for better generations, cultural positivity. Tomorrow can be better than today. This is American culture. Jennifer. Freedom of faith, speech, and thought. Say what you believe. Worship or not, freely. Marketplace of ideas. Doesn't mean you impress your ideas on someone else or hijack American culture. That's not what we're talking about here, right? Because we got a lot of problems here. We got a lot of problems when we go back to, government exists to protect freedoms, not grant them. We got a lot of problems here with free speech, right? We're always trying to shut people up now. Shut up. We don't like that. Shh. Shut up. Patriotism and national identity. We have honor for the flag, the military, and the founding of the country. Where are we with that? tore down statues, right? Burn the flag. I hate America. That's problematic, you see, because to have a country, to have a functional country, you gotta hold shared values. Not on everything, but on enough to keep the country cohesive. Language is a big one, right? We got to speak the same language for the most part here. And you got to make an effort to learn the language so that we can communicate. That was the whole point of school, actually, when school started. It wasn't this, who's better and science projects and all that. It was really just a way to get people to be able to understand the language, read and write. We're so far away from that now, right? Because now we actually bring in people to teach people in other languages into our schools. We don't have people learn our language. We accommodate them with a language speaker of their language. How are we gonna communicate here? Like, pick a language. Do we need to pick a new language? Possibly. And I'm just saying that these are the things that hold a country together. So, like, I don't even care. You want us to pick a new language? Let's pick a new language. But these, like, we gotta have some basis here. This is crazy, right? Got to have some fundamentals that are cohesive, that hold the whole thing together. And it seems like, to me, we should probably honor the beginning, right? Like, this is why it was started. People wanted to come here because of American culture, the culture that supported freedom of religion, be a Muslim, absolutely. But don't take over our streets to pray in them, because we don't do that. Christians don't do that. They don't shut down your morning commute and make you attend their church. So let's see, volunteerism and charity. So, this is, again, American culture. Help your neighbor. That still goes on out here in rural Colorado. Private philanthropy over state dependency. That means start your private philanthropy, but don't get money from Doge or from USAID, AID, right? Let the people fund the charities, and then let the charities distribute what they have to the needy. Nope, can't do that. Nope, government's involved. And what that did is it just created these big fat cats, to the point where I never give to big charity. You know why? Because only 1% of what they collect goes to the need. There's a documentary on that called Charity Inc. Stay tuned, everybody. Your naturally inspired moment is up next. But I assure you, there is American culture.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
something fun's going down here this week for the next few days. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday. I'm not sure. But anyway, Jason Garcia, that's my husband, Jason Garcia, and myself will be hosting the Daily Dose on the Red Pill Project. So this is going to be fun. We'll be talking about, well, you know, all kinds of things we'll be talking about. But if you want to hear the mastermind behind a lot of what I have learned through the years, you're about to meet him. You're about to meet him tonight. So we will be live, I believe, at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Is that right? Jason put it in the chat if it is. And you can find us 6:30 Mountain Time, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll be live on the Red Pill Project channel and probably live on Twitter and all the places that Josh, our friend Josh, is. He is away at conference, speaking and whatnot. So we will be on for the Daily Dose, 6:30 tonight for the Red Pill Project. Meet Jason Garcia. If you have, many of you have already met him because he's on our weekly wellness workshops, but also, you know, he guests here and there. So it's going to be fun. So join us tonight, 6:30 Mountain Time on the Red Pill Project, the Daily Dose for the Daily Dose. All right, 5 ways, today's naturally inspired moment, 5 ways to heal your body with your mind. I said it, I know. Sounds very foo-foo. Heal your body with your mind. But it's really true. It is really true. So here are 5 strategies to do that. Number 1, you got to start visualizing. You got to start visualizing health more and your illness less. You know, when we get a diagnosis, it often feels like, well, actually, a lot of people get relief at first because usually what happens is things go wrong. You get communication from the body. It's not necessarily wrong, but it's communication and we don't understand it. The allopathic model calls those symptoms. I call it signals. They're communication. So we get this communication from the body and, you know, we tend to go into fight or flight because it's scary. What's going on with our body? We don't know, right? And the allopathic model will say, that's okay. Shut it up with these pills. These will help. And then our brain thinks, oh, these pills are healing us. But they're not. They're just covering up what's really going on at the root cause. So anyway, this all gets us into a very heightened state of fear. And we run things through our minds, right? We think about the illness. We get the diagnosis. At first brings relief. Okay, goodness, it's this. Now I know I can do this treatment or what have you. But then it becomes a bit of an identity variable. It's like, oh yes, my anxiety, my lupus, my MS, my cancer, all these different, it becomes part of you. And it isn't part of you at all. But when it becomes part of us, our identity, then we tend to focus on it a lot. It's in our thoughts. And pretty soon it's infiltrated everything, So our brain doesn't distinguish well between imaginary and reality. It responds to the picture you give it. So if you're always focused on your illness, if you're always focused on, not being being overweight, then that's what your brain knows. That's what you're focusing on it. You're feeding it. Okay. You're thinking, man, I'm overweight. I need to lose weight. I'm overweight. Or, oh man, I'm so tired. If you're constantly focusing and visualizing the illness, you will get more of that. You have to retrain your neural pathways. You've got to start visualizing and focusing on health. Remember, if you have to, maybe it's been so long since you felt well, you got to go back in memory lane and visualize yourself when you were in high school and you were running balls on the football field, or you were kicking balls on the soccer field, and you just like, you had control over your whole body, and you just felt like, you know, pure vitality. That's how you retrain your brain. You start holding on to memories and moments where you were well and you did feel good. Because what this does by default is it pushes out the illness. The brain doesn't know the difference. It's like, oh, I'm meant to be well. This is how I feel. The more you can capture that feeling of wellness and live there, the more you will push illness out of your thought process. And guess what? This is the driver. Your brain is driving the body. And so drive it where you want it to go. Don't drive it where you don't want it to go. So each morning, spend 3 minutes imagining your cells repairing, transforming. Imagine shiny pink organs working well. Imagine that time when you scored a touchdown, when you kicked the soccer ball, when your energy was rising and you were in a peak moment. Imagine your body moving with strength when it was, you got up off the couch with ease, or you got down on the floor with ease and you popped back up, or you used to do somersaults. Live there in your mind. I see myself well, therefore I move toward wellness. This is a mantra you can practice. Make up your own. This one doesn't resonate with you, but you got to have a catchphrase. Every good marketing campaign has a catchphrase, right? It works on the masses. You can program your own brain for wellness. Anchor the nervous system. We talked about this at length last night. Use your breath. Stress chemistry blocks healing. Calm chemistry allows healing. Deep, slow breathing shifts the body from fight or flight into rest and repair. It lowers cortisol and improves immune function. So last night, I think we were talking about the 4-7-8 breath. Do it at least twice a day, where you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 7 seconds, and you exhale for 8 seconds. When I calm my breath, I calm my biology, and I visualize kind of tuning into the right frequency. You know, like, you know, when you're like driving a stick shift and, you know, you're about to shift into second gear and maybe you're pushing it a little too hard in first gear before you get into second, and the car kind of is like, you know, shakes a little bit, and then boom, you hit into second gear and you've like, you know, everything steadies. That's the kind of control you want over your nervous system. You want that steadiness where you can hit whatever gear and you're just hitting it. No shaking, right? No stalling. Rescript the inner dialogue. Your cells listen to the chemistry created by your thoughts. Why it works? Because thought patterns alter neurotransmitters and your very gene expression. Your thoughts do. This is why it's so important that you spend time in the state of feeling well. So shift, I'm broken, my anxiety, my disease, my whatever label it is, to I'm healing. I can feel it. I can feel my cells repairing. Switch, my body's, I'm fighting a battle, to my body's learning and rebuilding. You're working with your body, not against it. Your body is not your enemy. Your body's your partner. It's your partner. Release tension and trauma stored in the body. Where the mind struggles, the body holds the score. Fascia gets tight. Diaphragm gets tight. Breath gets shallow. Gut gets disrupted. So releasing emotional tension relaxes muscles, improves circulation, and calms your inflammatory triggers. Use breath work, use gentle stretching, somatic shaking even. Ooh, that's a very interesting one. Somatic massage as well. Use prayer, use all the tools that you have at your disposal, and don't underestimate them. They're not pharmaceuticals. I'll tell you that up front. They're not pharmaceuticals. You're not going to, do it once and it's going to fix everything forever. It's a practice. Being well is a practice. It's an art. And you have to continually practice your art. I let go so I let go so healing can enter. Make space for healing. It's a good mantra. I let go so healing can enter. Align with meaning and faith. So a hopeful, faith-anchored spirit fuels resilience and immune strength. Purpose increases dopamine. When you feel jazzed about what you're doing, it increases dopamine. It lowers then inflammatory markers and it boosts your motivation for healthy habits. All because you have a faith-anchored spirit with a little hope. So practice a gratitude prayer, scripture meditation, speak life over your health, not doom and gloom. Expect more because you deserve more. You know, this idea of expectation is big. It's really big. If you woke up every morning and you knew that what you were doing that day was going to heal you, you'd be popping out of bed every day and let's get it done. You have an expectation problem. You don't expect healing. You expect more disease. And it's not your fault. It's because the allopathic model doesn't teach you to expect healing. It teaches you to accept lifelong prescription medications. It teaches you that, when you get older, you're going to need these statins. Expectation. The expectation is disease. So change your expectation. Your expectation is wellness, health, vitality, excitement, adventure, fun. Who doesn't want that? You're not going to get it if you don't expect it. So healing with the mind isn't magic. It's not a woo-woo thing. You don't channel the healing, contrary to a lot of what these Instagram accounts say. That's not what you do. It isn't magic. It's truly biology. You have a frequency. And your nervous system is the messenger. Your body responds to the story you tell it. We heal fastest when we blend grace, grounded science, belief, daily action over time, spiritual peace, and physical support. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. This has been 5 Ways to Heal Your Body with Your Mind. Stay tuned for Hour 2. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. This is our second hour, actually. In the first hour, we were talking about American culture. Contrary to what a podcaster says, Jennifer Welsh, who's I think we can say she's a leftist, right? I'm pretty sure we can say she's a leftist. And she's claiming that America has no culture. That its only culture is the immigrants that come to it. That's its culture. And that's just not true. It's not true at all. In fact, if we didn't have culture, if America didn't have its own culture, we would not have a country today. Because American culture is precisely the reason why people wanted to come to America. Gosh, Jennifer. Isn't it fascinating that, it truly is your experience in life. It creates your worldview. And so, I think of that and I think, okay, I'm not mad, but it's so interesting to me, what worldview, what experiences have you been through that have guided you to this type of worldview where you would vote for a socialist Muslim to run the financial capital of our country. You know? Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. I don't know. I'd really truly love to try to understand it. You know, every once in a while I'll see some clips from the women from The View, you know, and I just think the same thing. I think, you know, how did you get on a mainstream network TV show and you got to be making $1 million plus probably, right? Like you're making money, great money. But yet you're complaining about the country that facilitates that, you know? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But again, we have different worldviews. You know, I grew up in Canada and I experienced socialized medicine. And it wasn't great. You know, it wasn't great. When I was smaller, I didn't really, you don't go, so you don't really know. But when I got older, I really saw the fallout from socialized medicine when I had to care for my mom as she was navigating that system. You know, it's pretty ugly. So, I had that experience there. And also the contrast of growing up in Canada and then moving to the United States. Like, the American culture is about entrepreneurship, build a business. You know, the Canadian culture I grew up in, you guys, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but the Canadian culture I grew up in was like, get a good job with the government so you can get benefits. It was. And, maybe lots of Canadians listening go, that's not true. That's not how it is. Well, it isn't. It was for me in blue collar British Columbia. My mom started out as a janitor. My dad was a painter. So both blue collar workers. They were teenagers when they got married. They both worked hard and stuff. And nobody talked to me about college. Nobody talked to me about, starting a business or entrepreneurship. I didn't even probably know what entrepreneurship was. It was all about just getting a good job with the government so you could get those bennies and get 6 weeks of vacation. And, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. That was my experience. It's just fascinating that someone like this would say, because I knew when I moved to America that it was going to be different. I knew it was more of the wild, wild west. There was going to be less safety nets, less no healthcare. I knew all that, but I still wanted to come here. I still wanted to come here, and it just seemed bigger, bigger things would happen here, And I was willing to take the risk because I wanted bigger things. I wanted to do bigger things. And so to say that America doesn't have culture is well, geez, it's just so insulting, because technically I am an immigrant, and I didn't come here bringing all my Canadian standards and expecting, free healthcare. Well, we have it in Canada, so we should have it here. It would never have occurred to me. I knew by moving here, I would become American. I don't know, just, I guess, two totally different points of view. And sometimes I'm just at a loss for understanding how you could be so, such an ingrate, Such an ingrate. Really, that's what it is. Let's get to some news stories, though. Let's talk about how the matrix that we're living in we've gotten to the point now. Finally, we've gotten here. It's so exciting. We are finally, thanks to Bobby Kennedy Jr., going to start having the conversation about SSRIs and shootings. Yes, we are. So let's take a look at this clip that I have for you. Here it is.
is the possibility of a causal linkage between the emergence and/or intensification of suicidal thoughts and acts, suicidality that is, and/or other violent behaviors, and the use of antidepressant drugs.
I know with absolute certainty that if Charles had any idea of the side effects of Prozac, he would never have taken it. This drug is most assuredly responsible for any torment or suffering and the eventual suicide of my husband. I want people to be aware of what can happen when you take the drug Prozac. I took the 9mm automatic, sat down on the bed, and put the gun to my head. I wasn't clear on how to shoot the gun, so I lowered it and pulled the trigger. It fired into the bed. As I went to hold it back up to my head, the feather touch trigger had tripped after that first shot, and I blew a 4-inch hole out the back of my arm instead of my head. Prozac did this to me. Had someone looked further into Prozac, believed me, even mentioned early on of the so-called remote possibility that Prozac could cause any of these adverse effects, especially the act of putting a loaded gun to my head, to want to die so violently, steps could have been taken to avoid it. Thank God I was a lousy shot.
It's just a real nightmare, something I have to live with every day. I had 2 sons, David Lee, age 8, Billy, 16. The wife, 20 years, all gone. I'll tell you why. After being on Prozac for 21 days, my wife shot and killed both of these 2 boys right here. She turned the gun to herself and shot herself twice. Now she's in jail for murder.
One woman earlier spoke of nearly committing suicide in front of her children. My sister did commit suicide in front of Lindsay. Another woman.
You guys, these stories have been, I mean, look at the footage here, right? Old. Maybe I have to remind you. You know how long it takes to implement a new medical like theory or discovery, I guess I should say, a new medical discovery. So say, they figure out, oh my gosh, we shouldn't be doing this surgery this way. There's a better way to do it. And there's better materials to use, or there's better, there's better practice. This is better practice. It takes 17 years. 17 years to get that implemented as the new gold standard of how to do things. 17 years. So it's not surprising. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Think about it. Like, why would that take so long? Well, it takes long because we have some corporate gangsters in charge of a lot of things. We have this weird system of like pay to play, where corporate entities will say, no, that's not the problem. And we're going to slap you with a lawsuit and a gag order so you can't say anything. And then we'll pay this politician so he goes in and fights our battle for us. And wouldn't you know it, we're in the clear. And then it comes back again. And someone says, these things are dangerous. And then the lobby goes in again and they say, no, this is, and then meanwhile, people are dying. People are getting injured. People, bad things are happening. And we're going to have this same conversation about vaccines. And eventually it's like a, they're going to separate them. Then they're going to, spread out the schedule. And then maybe they'll take out the HPV, or you know what I mean? This is going to take a long time. And I just want to ask you, are you willing to roll the dice? How are you? This is probably like a preemptive question you could ask yourself to prepare yourself. Like, how are you going to feel the day they tell you that vaccines cause more injury and provide less benefit? How are you going to feel? How would you feel right now if your doctor called you up and said, I see you have 2 children here. They're fully vaccinated. I just want to inform you that these vaccines cause injuries. They cause food allergies. They may be attributed to autism. They could possibly cause blood disorders, things like Guillain-Barré syndrome. They could make you susceptible to, Epstein-Barr virus. How are you going to handle that conversation? You should start asking yourself that now, and ask yourself if you're willing. Well, you're going to be okay with that if you keep injecting yourself now and your kids? Easy decision, really. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
A conversation long overdue about SSRIs. When I first started Naturally Inspired Podcast, I think maybe we were 2 years in, 3 years in maybe, I interviewed a lady by the name of Kim Witzak who lost her husband to a situation like this where, he was just having some anxiety because he was an entrepreneur, started a new business, and, there's a lot of pressure with that. And so he's having some trouble sleeping, and they put him on some medication, and his name was Woody, and he ended up killing himself in their garage. I think it was roughly 3 weeks later, like this lady testified to. It wasn't long that he was on this medication, and he ended up taking his own life. These stories are, they're everywhere. They're everywhere, and they certainly know. And so Bobby Kennedy tweeted out that video, that clip that I just played you, along with this tweet. Drawing on the nation's most comprehensive data, the CDC government is finally confronting the long taboo question of whether SSRIs and other psychoactive drugs contribute to mass violence. How do you feel about that? When you've been gaslit for decades about gun control. I've lost a friend over this. I remember specifically back in the old days when I was still allowed on Facebook. I remember there being a shooting here in Boulder, actually. And I said, we should be talking right away. Gun control, take away the guns. Yeah, how's that going in the UK these days? It's very stabby in the UK. Stabby Britain, right? Stabby London. You're not going to stop crime by banning tools, right? Because criminals, they be being criminals. They'll get things illegally. That's what they do. So all you're going to do by banning guns is make sure that people who already abide by the law continue to abide by the law. That's all you're going to do. The deeper question has always been for me is it's very intriguing that most school shooters, the ones that we have privy to their medical background, can be linked to SSRIs. Now, they're put on SSRIs. Sometimes they're they're not monitored, and so they come off of them. And this is a deeper conversation because we also have this variable of like MK Ultra programming. And it's just a conspiracy theorist. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Whatever. Say what you want. I don't care. It's true. It's true. And there are very specific targets that are located. When I say targets, I mean like, people like Charlie Kirk's supposed assassin. The school system is a wonderful filter for identifying talented and gifted children with high IQs that can be labeled as special and then given special privileges to different programs. I don't know. Just a little something that goes on, I think. So it's a variable. It doesn't mean we don't have lone shooters or what have you. Certainly we do. But as most things go, it's nuanced. Is every school shooter a product of MK Ultra and, brainwashing and SSRIs that are used in that program? No. Is every school shooter somebody that has at one point been on and come off of or is still on SSRIs? It looks that way. It does look that way. Another variable of this topic is like, who are the parents of a lot of these children? When you start looking into the parents of a lot of these children that have been committed, mass school shootings, it's strange that they always tend to end up military. Maybe military and a school teacher or something like that. I don't know. There's just a lot of patterns. We'll never know until we are honest about the patterns, right? If we continue to get gaslit about the patterns, we're never going to get to a real solution about school shootings because you're not gonna. When you don't know what you're dealing with, you're not gonna. But this is a step in the right direction because we do have the data. We do have the data on that. And we do know that these drugs, they're a problem. They're a real problem when it comes to mass violence. So I'm excited. I'm excited that they're going to just open this can of worms because, I lost a friend over this, I think, on Facebook when I said, because it can we maybe just ban AR-15s? Maybe can we just ban this gun or that gun? And I said, maybe can we just ban SSRIs? Maybe can we just look at it? I didn't even say ban it. I just said, can we look at it? We're looking in the wrong direction here. Looking in the wrong direction. You don't blame tools. You blame the people that are using the tools. So what's wrong with the people using the tools? That's the question we should be answering. But that's if you want to actually get down to the reason. Like that's if you are actually trying to solve a problem. See, what everybody gets confused at is that they're like, why don't they just do this? Why don't they just do that? See, you're trying to square things with reason. You're trying to square things with the thought that they want to solve the problem. If we do indeed have an MK Ultra program that uses SSRIs and pinpoints high IQ children through the school system and puts them to work to put them in positions to be operatives, if we do indeed have a program like that, they don't want to stop it because it's a tool for them. And for them, I mean, 3-letter agencies. Talking about national security here, right? So they're not going to want to stop that. So, this is where we get all jumbled up because we're like, well, why would they do that? Like, because we're always thinking we're trying to square things with reason, like everybody's on the same page and we want everybody to be healthy and well, and we don't want people to get assassinated. And, we don't want these things. You're assuming that people in charge want the outcome that you do. And they don't. It's the same thing with the mayor, right? You're assuming that the people in charge want to clean up New York City, and everyone's going to live happy and healthy and going to have wealth and it's going to be perfect. And that's not the point. The point is to conquer the West. And when you start squaring it with that rationale, you're like, oh, well, I can see now why they want to erode American culture and they want to proclaim that there is no American culture. Now it all makes sense, right? But when you keep trying to square it with the wrong reason, you're going to continue to be all jumbled up and you're not going to understand what's going on. All right, let's move to this next topic because I think this is really important too. Tony Robbins is, mastermind of business, also personal development. I love some of his work with personal development and stuff. But he is heavily invested in artificial intelligence. And so I thought this was really interesting because we've been talking a lot about artificial intelligence, climate change, energy, and what we need to be aware of. Well, this is a top business podcast here. And I want to share with you a little bit what they're talking about. Here it is.
The quality of our lives. But today, energy means intelligence. The AI race is the most important race in the world today. We need to beat China. If we're going to be the superpower we've been and continue to dominate, we need to make sure we win that race. There's a lot of fear of scarcity of energy, concerns about energy. And so we thought maybe the best thing to do is bring you to meet one of our dear friends who happens to be the Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright. Chris, great to be with you again. Thanks for making the time. We really appreciate it. Tell me something. You've been given a pretty giant task. You're supposed to give us energy dominance, or as the president talks, the golden age of energy dominance for America again. And we got some pretty big challenges ahead of us. We're a little bit behind China and so forth. But we can talk about the challenges. I'd like to first find out from you, in your unique position as Secretary of Energy, what do you see are the greatest opportunities right now in energy that people may not be aware of?
We hit a couple. One is just bringing realism back to energy. Energy, as you and I know, energy matters so much, and there's so much politics and superstition and myth around it that's just got us in the wrong direction. The last administration was about energy subtraction. Yeah. We've got to get rid of the big energy sources and then grow the little energy sources. Well, the math just doesn't work on that. Yeah. So I think, as I say, common sense is contagious. I think we're getting around the horn people to realize the real goal is more energy, massively more energy. In the United States, around the world, more affordable, reliable, secure energy is just the road to a better lifestyle. Yes. And so we'll come back to that. The second thing I'm super excited.
More energy is just the road to a better lifestyle. So I found this interesting because, recently Bill Gates has abandoned the climate change campaign. You know how I always tell you the climate change campaign is just that. It's a campaign. It was invented by a bunch of people around a boardroom table, and it was rolled out in line with a whole bunch of new products and, quite honestly, a whole new way of life. Because with climate change, it's about sucking energy from humans, right? You're using a little bit too much energy with that incandescent light bulb. You need to move over to LEDs because those burn less energy. Yeah, we don't really know what they do to your health, but no matter, because climate change, you got to save the planet. And that it goes across the board. I mean, it is a marketing tool now, right? So you see everything like, climate change. We're seeing carbon credits on sandwiches and things of that nature. You're seeing carbon credits attached to, how much carbon credit you are spending when you purchase this. Companies are all in on the environmental, social governance score. A whole economy is built around climate change. Are they switching gears? Are they switching gears? Could be. I'll talk about it when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. See you in a minute.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
So over 70% of Americans are on at least one prescription drug, many with side effects that cause more problems than they solve. When you visit your doctor, chances are you're going to leave with a prescription. You know it. Happens all the time. So even when you work with a natural health practitioner, we were talking about this last night on the call, it can end up costing you thousands of dollars. You work with them for 6 weeks, 12 weeks or whatever, and their prices are top tier there. And that can be very, unsustainable, and a lot of people can't do it. And so that's why I developed Naturally Inspired Health Community. This is a place where you can get health coaching, you can get guidance, you can get community support for free just by purchasing products that you already purchase anyway, I guarantee you. Everybody's on vitamins. Everybody understands the power of nutrition. Everybody understands they need to get the toxic chemicals out of their household products. And I have a wonderful line of products that I'm partnered with. They're EWG certified, which means Environmental Working Group. That's a third party. It's a very difficult designation to get. And I personally use all these products. I love them. When you become a member, which means, how do you become a member? You spend $50. Spend $50 and you automatically become a member where you can shop on this website for life. And every time you shop, you get a 15% discount. You get free or flat rate shipping. You get loyalty points towards free products, kind of like cash back on your credit card there. Access to our weekly wellness workshops. We had one last night, Tuesday night. We talk about your nervous system. Every Tuesday night, we have a different topic. You get access to my private online health community. That's the back office. So you can't make the calls live. Log in the back office. You can listen to them there. Personal access to me as your health and wellness guide. So I have a text line signed up. When you become a customer, you get a little tag on you that goes straight to my text line, and you come up first as priority when you're my customer. If you're not my customer, I do field questions, but it may take me a little longer to get to you, and that text line's getting busier and busier every day. When you join our community, you're not just buying products, you're investing in your health. You're investing in your knowledge. You're investing in your freedom from the pharmaceutical trap, and you're investing in American culture. You're working to protect freedom to choose. Because you're making a statement in the marketplace. I'm going to put my money here because this is what matters to me, freedom. So when you join our community, you're not just buying the products, get a whole lot more. Join today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. This is where you're going to feel supported, you're going to get informed, and truly inspired to live well, naturally. All right. So yeah, Tony Robbins here hosting this podcast. And I tell you, it's going to be energy, 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 energy. It's going to be water, 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 water. And why? Because those are the resources they need to power this thing. This thing, artificial intelligence and the digital revolution. We are going to need so much stinking power. I don't think that we can even quantify it with our brains. 1.5 liters of water is used when you ask ChatGPT a question. So 1.5 liters of water is used to cool at that data center to bring you back that answer. Now, electricity is a whole other thing, right? There's a lot of pressure about the race, right? We're in a race with China. We got to beat China. We got to be first. Larry Ellison, Eric Schmidt, Peter Diamandis, a lot of these people who are in, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, like everyone, Ted Cruz in politics, right? Like everybody's pushing us. Got to be first, got to be first, got to be first, got to be first. And so there's no time to analyze. Speed is a variable. It is definitely a way to get your way. You know what I mean? If you don't allow space for time and discussion and contemplation, go, 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 go. Like that's a tactic. That's a tactic. Is it true that we've got to go, go, go or else? I don't know. And I don't think they do either. I think it is just less regulation on AI right now means we can get things done faster. And it's really about business here, because the first business, the first corporation that is to the meets the marketplace need, well, they're going to get all the beans, aren't they? I think it actually blows my mind that artificial intelligence is here, that we're talking about the merger and the transition into, the digital revolution, the merger, the biological revolution, the merger between man and machine, and we ain't even having any conversations about it. We're not even, yeah, sure, there's podcasts out here, we're talking about it, but like, there's no real national conversation going on about the biggest transition ever. Like the Industrial Revolution pales in comparison to the amount of change that is coming with the biological revolution. And nobody wants to have a conversation about it because they're just concerned. They got all these problems. We got to get more energy. We got to get this. We can't deal with regulation. We can't deal with like what the people want. It just feels like it's very constructed, and these data centers, they're going to need water. We have a lot of fires and destruction around the coastline. That's suspicious to me. It's suspicious. It's suspicious that, they think that our 5 cows in my field here, I shouldn't be allowed to have them because, it's carbon. It's like you want to suck every bit of joy out of humanity and have us be apologetic for taking up space on the earth. That's our birthright. Like we're getting, again, it's the severing of nature. That's a pattern here. Severing humans from nature, synthesizing what occurs naturally and selling it back to you. It's a pattern. And the problem is we can't be well without the earth. We can't be healthy without the earth. We don't just live on the earth like it's any old rock and it doesn't matter to us. We are connected to it at a cellular level. Take away the earth, take away nature, humans will die. You can't synthesize the earth. But these guys are going to try. What does it mean when you are a digital being? You've merged yourself. Are you still going to be able to connect, electrical charge to the earth? Or will the biological, electrical, synthetic charge that you put in your body, will that cancel that out? Like, I got a lot of questions here. I got a lot of questions. And I think that we should be talking about these questions. Because, I can barely get my computer to work, And so what if this thing doesn't work inside of me? Well, and then what? I say this all the time, but like truly, I feel like an analog girl living in a digital world. And I think, I don't know, like I don't really want to let go of nature for this fake thing that man has created. The nature part's worked out pretty good for me, you know? It's worked out. I feel like I know what to expect. I know, I know how it works. I know it's meaningful. I'm still growing in it. Like I'm not done here. And yet they want to move everybody on to the synthetic version, the virtual reality, the metaverse. I don't know. It's very bizarre. But you always know what's going on in business when you follow, these top dogs, if you will. They're concerned about energy. We need to be concerned about energy because that could be a real mechanism of control. Dr. Oz is talking about healthcare. I want to share this clip with you. It's just $1 billion. Who cares? It's $1 billion. Take a listen.
When the president offered me this job, he told me to protect our most vulnerable by rooting out fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm sharing these stories so you understand the stakes of our enforcement. So here's the situation. 6 states believe that they should be allowed to pay for illegal immigrants on the state level on their own to receive free health care. Now, free health care insurance attracts illegal immigrants and it makes them unwilling to leave, even if we offer them cash. Equally importantly, I worry that federal taxpayer money will be siphoned towards these states and hurt the 44 states who disagree with attracting illegal immigrants with free insurance. In fact, Congress is shut down right now because Democratic senators don't like the One Big Beautiful Bill, which corrals this kind of fraud in Medicaid. We decided to investigate ourselves. I didn't really trust these 6 states. We found already $1.3 billion has been inappropriately taken from federal taxpayers in just the past few months. We just clawed back $300 million, which signals that the 6 states, they already know, they acknowledge that this is an embarrassing reality. We need to protect our most vulnerable and send a clear message that other countries should take care of theirs.
So over $1 billion stolen in the last few months with free health care for immigrants, people who are, not legally, haven't paid their dues here to be a legal citizen or to be a legal green card holder. So yeah, that's just a hard one to swallow because, we have Vietnam vets, we have, veterans of all wars who can't get care, They can't get care. We have vets that live on the street. Oh my gosh, I was just talking to somebody who's a vet the other day. It's like, what it's like to get care at the VA? I can only imagine. It's clear government-run things never run efficiently, and it's questionable even if they're effective. $1 billion. Free health care for everybody, except the citizens here. You can't make it up, you guys. It's crazy. Stay tuned for your health topic. Today we're talking about your fascia.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Join us tonight. Mr. Jason Garcia and myself hosting the Daily Dose. That's Josh Reed's platform over on the Red Pill Project. The Daily Dose is what Jason and I are going to be hosting tonight. You're going to not want to miss this. It's going to be a good one. He's already got everything planned. We've got some great topics. He's going to bring receipts, as he always does. So it's going to be a good one. And I would invite you, if you are a naturally inspired listener, come and join us tonight on the Daily Dose. It'll be a little bit of a different flavor. And I think you'll really enjoy it. It'll be a lot of good information for you. So tonight, Daily Dose, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time on the Red Pill Project. You can find us on X. You can find it on Rumble. We'll be streaming live. So I don't think we'll be hard to find. But if you have any trouble, just text me, 720-303-8868. All right, let's get to your health topic for today. It's an important one. It's fascia. Since we were talking about the nervous system last night on the weekly wellness show workshop, and we're talking about the nervous system and how to master it. Well, your fascia is a big part of this. Fascia is the body's living web. So this is kind of gross, but when you eat a steak and you cut in a steak and you get that kind of silvery lining throughout the steak, that's fascia. And we have it too. It is all through us. It's a thin, continuous sheet of connective tissue that weaves through every part of the body, the muscles, the organs, the nerves, the bones, even blood vessels. So it's the fabric that holds your body together, like the inner netting of an orange. All the white stuff on an orange too? That's a great way to look at it. It's holding the whole thing together. It's very important. It's a network as well. So it communicates faster than your nerves do. Fascia transmits electrical and mechanical signals instantly. This means tension or injury in one area can affect another. So, like what I'm always talking about here is like the area of where the pain is coming from doesn't necessarily mean that is where the injury is the root cause of. The body's so good at compensating that you can, end up overusing another muscle. That's where the pain's coming from. But the injury is actually somewhere down the line. So this means tension or injury in one area can affect another. Your neck pain may start in tight hips. Isn't that crazy? It's the body's information highway. So it's scaffolding, but it's not scaffolding alone. Fascia needs hydration to function. So healthy fascia is supple, it's fluid, and it glides smoothly. Dehydration, poor nutrition, lack of supplementation of collagen, this all makes it sticky and restricted. And so hydration plus supplementation and movement equals elasticity and freedom. Because we lose collagen 1% a year from our mid-20s on, this is why when you start getting off the couch, it's like, oh, you think, well, I'm just getting older. You got a lot less collagen. That's what's happening. You watch a baby, right? A toddler, they fall down, boom, they get right back up. Like you're like, are you okay? They're fine. Because they got so much collagen going on, they practically bounce. Thank goodness. Fascia influences posture and pain. So when your fascia stiffens, it pulls on the joints, it pulls on muscles, it creates pain and patterns. It also creates misalignment. So stretching alone isn't enough. You must release fascia through your breath work, using foam rollers, hydration, supplementing with collagen, slow mindful movement. You got to open it up slowly, right? You start just banging things around there and you're prone to injury. So you want to do it slowly. But fascia stores emotion and stress as well. There's an emotional component. There always is, because we're emotional beings. So because fascia is full of sensory nerves, it holds on to emotional tension. That's why deep tissue work, breath release, even tears, They can arise during body work like somatic massage or even acupuncture. The body keeps the score and fascia is the record. So fascia supports circulation and immunity as well. Healthy fascia allows blood, lymph, and nutrients to flow freely, whereas restricted fascia, it gets stagnant, right? It causes stagnant fluid. It restricts healing. It restricts detoxing. It's congestion, right? Creates congestion in the body. When fascia moves, your cells receive better oxygen, better nourishment, and waste removal is easier. So movement is medicine for fascia. Dynamic, varied movement like walking, like stretching, like resistance training, weightlifting, dancing, playing. Remember playing? It all keeps your fascia useful. So when you're still, when you're dehydrated, when you're in chronic stress, you stiffen. And fascia thrives on flow, not force. You can't beat the fascia into do this, bend this way, mobility. It doesn't work that way. You have to coerce, you have to nourish. And so fascia is the silent communicator between our body, our mind, and emotions. And when you hydrate, move, breathe, and release, you're not just stretching tissue, you're activating the body's built-in healing network. This is very important. So something to think about, again, we talked about the expectation, right? What is your expectation for your body? Because I guarantee you, if you've been living in this world, you expect to age, right? And with your expectation of aging, you expect some things to happen. You have the expectation that your movement is going to be limited. You have the expectation that one day I won't be able to. You have the expectation maybe, that you won't be as independent as you age. Well, if you take care of your body, you don't have to have that expectation. You can switch the expectation to, if I hydrate my fascia, I can preserve my mobility and create independence long term. I saw a story about a lady who's 100 years old. And man, let me tell you, 100 doesn't look like what 100 used to look like. This lady's still getting on the floor, playing with great grandchildren, getting up. You know what part of her daily routine is? She takes vitamins. And she moves every day. She's got a little routine, little weight routine she's been doing for years. She cooks her own food. She lives in her own home alone. Like, that's the goal. That should be the goal. That should be the expectation. It's only because of this broken disease care model that we've allowed this level of doubt into our minds that this is what happens as you get older. Doesn't have to. I think a lot of people quit things too early because they're expecting they're going to need to, and they just kind of like want to pull the Band-Aid off. Well, I'm getting too old for that. I know, one day I'm not going to be able to do it, so I might as well stop now. Like, what are you doing? Life's meant to be lived. You live it as long as you possibly can until you don't get the option anymore. Right? Nobody's getting out of this thing alive. We know that. But don't sell yourself short. Do whatever you can to make sure that you're protecting your mobility because it is your independence. Your mobility is your independence. And if there's one product in our product line that I have to put at the very top of my list, it's a tough one. I love the cellular reset just about as much as I love collagen, but everybody needs collagen. If you are not supplementing with it, then you are going to feel the consequences of drying fascia, of dehydration of your fascia. and it's going to create lack of mobility, which can create imbalance and misalignment. And then that leads to accidents. It leads to vulnerabilities. And that's all besides the aesthetic part of fascia as well. People wonder why, skin begins to sag, you get creping in your skin. It's all because of lack of collagen production. So supplement with collagen, and now has never been a better time to supplement with collagen, because right now you can get my absolute favorite one. It is the pure, low molecular weight liquid biocell. You buy 3 bottles. So you put 3 bottles into the cart and you use promo code GIFT15. That's GIFT 15, GIFT15. You're going to save over $50 because there's a promotion going on as we head into the holidays, and it ends before the end of the month. So you want to act now. Get 3 bottles, put them in your cart, all 3. I know. All full price will come up. But then when you add the promo code GIFT15, you're going to save $52 on your collagen. And this is the best time right now, because if you can get 3 bottles right now, your first 30 days, you will be able to do, actually, I think that would last 6 weeks. You'll be able to do 2 doses a day. 2 doses a day. And if you do 2 doses a day, you're going to be filling that hole just a little bit faster, and you'll see results. So 2 doses a day, get your 3 bottles, use promo code GIFT15. That's promo code GIFT15. All you have to do is go to the Naturally Inspired store. So step 1, go to the naturallyinspiredstore.com. You'll see there's a graphic there. It's got collagen bottle on it. Click on it. Put 3 bottles in your cart. Okay. Then at the bottom, it'll say, add your promo code. Add your promo code GIFT15. It will deduct over $52 and some cents off of your purchase. You check out, pay for your collagen. When it arrives, you want to take it 1 tablespoon in the morning when you break fast, and then 1 tablespoon in the evening before you go to bed. And the wonderful thing about this collagen is it doesn't impact your blood sugar levels. It's keto friendly, as they call it. It is the 3 bottles of pure. I think it's the only one that you can get this discount on. It just happens to be my absolute favorite. I love this one. It works wonderful for me. I've had such wonderful results. And let me tell you, I have hundreds of testimonials. I got construction workers on this stuff. They don't want to admit it that they take collagen, but they do. Because it helps them with their hands. It helps them with their shoulders. I got truck drivers on this stuff that do not want to go without it because of knee pain or what have you. And then I have women on it who are on it because they want better skin. They want to glow up, as they say. And collagen helps with that. Not only that, I have clients on this that have had terrible gut issues for years and have seen those gut issues resolved from collagen and a good probiotic. Visit naturallyinspiredstore.com today. Take advantage of this deal. We'll see you tonight on The Daily Dose.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.